The time is now 4:30 p.m. on Monday, August 24th. I hereby call this Special Affairs Committee meeting to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson is not in. Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett? Present. You have 3 members present.
We have 3 members present.
Thought I had somebody. Okay. I thought there was another one. Maybe it was in my text. Okay. Here it is. Beth Rahel. Real. And then there was another one.
Did your sister notice the burglar scoping out our neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
You see him in his down coat and a ski mask?
Forward that to me.
I already busted him. He's already in jail right
Okay.
now as we speak.
Don't get too close. I've had.
Oh, that's right. You've been sick.
No, should be fine. But I had a strep.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
Yeah.
I'm
You're
beyond the
out of
point. But I'm
of-
out of the
yeah.
contagious point.
Yeah. So just tell her just to be on the lookout.
Well, she's
Shady stuff.
well. Remember, she has Oz. She has that German
that's right.
Shepherd.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, good. Okay.
I don't worry about her too much.
Yeah, no, thank God. I forgot about her having a boy.
Huh. Huh. I'm just trying to find something and I can't find it. This is the one. Oh, shoot, they don't have the name.
Listen, if y'all give money to Trio, shame on you.
Right.
This is a fucking.
Over there too.
Like, if we give any more money to Trio, I'm telling you how to vote, we're fucking retards.
Dennis? I agree. And Firehouse Station 5, they weren't happy with their kitchen either. Yep. Shoot, I got the wrong phone. What?
Took you down like that.
Well, I woke up to go to Mount Pleasant, and I had dry heaves, and my stomach hurt. So I took myself, I didn't go, and just was, I really started feeling bad again on Friday. I mean, I wasn't feeling great the whole month.
Right.
And so I told her my stomach and my dry heaves and stuff. She's going, she goes, let me look at your mouth. She goes, let's do a test. I didn't know they could find out that fast. Oh, yeah. And I was already on antibiotics, but they said the Z-Pak didn't work on that. It was going to look for. Oh. How the hell did that happen?
If I could ask council members to take their seats, and we will establish quorum and get the meeting started. Thank you.
Really? Hey, how is your back?
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
It is 5 p.m., and I will retake the roll call to establish a quorum. Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Present.
Ms. Priestley? Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 5 members present.
We have 5 members present. It's now time for the reading of Disorderly Persons City Code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 3110, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Request for agenda changes and/or additions. Any additions? Seeing, hearing none, we will move on to public comment. Madam Clerk. Oh, let me read the members of the public who wish to address the City Council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box will be placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only one speaking opportunity per speaker. Madam Clerk, first public speaker, please.
First speaker is Michael Gwynn.
Hi, my name is Michael Gwynn. I'm here to address you guys today. Set the record straight. I've been the one cleaning up Melbourne Park since 2024. With absolutely no resource from anybody other than myself. The other day, Tanya Burns decided to take it upon herself and make a live video saying that she partnered with somebody to help clean up Melbourne Park, and that's an absolute bold-faced lie. So I'm here to set the record straight. Nobody has partnered with me outside of Lydell Lewis in any way, shape, or form in any type of cleanup effort that I have had imposed across our city. Across our city, I've cleaned up Melbourne Park since 2024, as well as mowed over 600 land bank properties off of $12,000 through Lydell Lewis. There's no other entity in this city that's provided any sort of help or resource to this park. This park is in a desert area. There are no other parks around for our residents in Ward 5. I've contacted the mayor's office, numerous other offices, with absolutely zero resources to be provided or any type of care from our city whatsoever. Today, I'm just speaking for the people in our area and the kids who deserve a good, safe area to play in. I will continue to take care of this park without resources from anybody. I'm not looking for a handout. If you guys don't care about your city, that's fine, but I love my city, and I'm here to take care of it. You guys could either help me address the situation or continue to ignore the problem that we have at hand. The park is a very well park. It only needs very minimum resources to come back up to be one of the top parks in the city, in an area that kids don't have a safe place to play. In the area today where we're talking about multiple homicides across our city and safe places for kids, the parks is the #1 resources. I cleaned this park up for a safe place for my grandson to play because it's only a few blocks away from my house, as well as other little kids to play at. Summerfield Community School with the Early Learning Center is connected directly to this park, and they're in full help and support and honor of me cleaning up this park. So if anybody has any further issues with me cleaning up the park or any idea or saying that Burns or anybody else had anything to do with this park, it's a complete bald-faced lie. The only person who's had any help or efforts for me, thank you, Ms. Lydell Lewis, for all your efforts that you have given me over the years, because no other council member throughout here has cared. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next public speaker.
The next speaker is R.L. Mitchell.
I'm R.L. Mitchell. For the record, welcome back from the crim race, the peoples who made it, that didn't fall out Saturday. About these zone changing, my pastor, Eric C. Bogan, is in the Vatican right now, and he showed me a picture of Notre Dame. Perhaps he wanted to go in service. You think, I hope he say something about the zoning. Perhaps he can say something about the zoning of Powers High School over on Court Street. They moved from Carpenter Road because what I seen Saturday at the crim race, they blocked me from way down on Hamilton Street, had to walk all through straight through the city. And I seen that the Roman Catholic Church got about 25 trucks loaded with cartels coming from across the border and put them in the houses while we was watching, like lightning was striking, and they Looked like Brooklyn, New York, when they hit the towers. Then the people was going all about their business. They didn't want to wreck because the lightning was flashing. But I stood there and looked at, they ought to be glad because the ground was dry. Didn't worry about, and then they decided after 30 minutes of confusion, they decided to run anyway. But, because we only got 2 schools in Flint, Southwestern and Powers High School. If that ain't no premeditated situation like the second ward woman over there talking about Tanya Burns, the Tarzan talking about he's the only one cleaning up the parks, and she got a mask on her face now, probably tearing down too many people's houses without putting that red tape around. Her and Miss Fields sneezing and spreading that stuff around at the council like nobody will know about that stuff. Taking people out of their houses and homeless people's getting burned up trying to keep warm over on Detroit, Martin Luther King Street, and nobody saying nothing about that. And standing right across from old Sears building, what Whitwell Stanley, the late Whitwell Stanley had that building. They right there all night long with their belongings, and people like, look at her, getting up out of her seat, walking, hoping that you didn't show up or they can cut the council out. And Madam Burns is on her way, hurrying in. She'll be here directly and deal with the situation because Madam President Shack, like she about to jump out of the basement window over there looking at her computer at the same time and her. Anyway, stay tuned, New York. You're gonna see how Tanya Burns run the city, like Brooklyn, like Donald Trump, using Brooklyn for his playground. R.L. Mitchell approved this message.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next public speaker.
The next speaker is Grace Taylor. Grace Taylor.
Grace Taylor.
The final speaker for this meeting is Arthur Woodson.
Good evening. I thought I'd come up and let you all know. I've been going down to Lansing, Michigan, to the Capitol every Monday and Wednesday. And what I'm doing is protesting the Flint water settlement money. To hear that kids are only getting $1,200 and the max is $4,000, and then it's over $200 million approximately in interest off of the money that was supposed to be given to the people here in the city of Flint that they have held on to since August 2021. And for the lawyers to be getting some of that money, and for Ms. Greenspan and others in her administration to be getting some of that money, and not allowing the people here in the city of Flint to even know how much interest has even built up on that money. My protest is that I'm tired of the Democrats. I'm not saying don't vote for them, but I'm tired of the African American community voting for them. 97% of the African Americans vote Democrat. And what do we have to show for it? They come every 4 years and say what they gonna do for us, but they don't do it. So my remedy to start something here in the city of Flint, and we can be a beacon of hope for others, is to demonstrate how to leverage our vote. If they do not give us the remainder of the Flint water settlement money, along with the interest that can go to the water company and pay off the residents' water bills for a couple of months, and at the same time fix the infrastructure, do capital improvement, put water mains, because we do have that ACO in place. If that money isn't in our accounts by November the 4th, 2026, we do not vote for any federal or state Democrats that's running for the election. We have to show them that our vote really do count and that they have to stop coming every 4 years telling us what they plan on doing for us when they done been in office for 8 years already. And they can do this right now. So November the 4th, we don't vote for them if they don't have our money here by November the 4th. It's just that simple. It's not hard for us to get behind something like this. I don't have to like you, I don't have to love you, I don't have to respect you, I don't care. But at the same time, we can get together with this right here. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, you say that was the last of the public speakers?
That's correct.
Thank you. Now it's time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Are there any council members that would like to have comment? Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward.
Thank you. I would like to tell Mr. Gwynn, thank you so much for your work. I saw the article when he initially started cleaning up the Milbourne Park, and I reached out. I want to know how I can be a part of this because we have a council attendee that called me Yogi Bear, say I'm always down with cleaning up parks. Well, and I take pride in that because I take pride in our public spaces. And so I'm glad that Yogi Bear has a boo-boo. And so thank you so much, Michael, for continuing to help beautify our area. Many hands equals light work, and definitely appreciate his hand in helping secure the safety and the cleanliness of Milbourne Park. So hopefully, this can be an invitation to others, elected officials, officials that would like to be elected, or just people that just care about Flint, to step up and help us secure a safe place for our kids to play and for us to live. But again, I would like to thank Mr. Mike Gwynn for all of his hard work, as well as to the groups that help clean up Sarvis, to the park adopters that help clean up Iroquois, Invisible Giants. We have a lot of great people that love the city. So again, thank you, Mr. Gwynn, for coming out and speaking tonight, setting the record straight in terms of who cleaned Milbourne Park, who will continue to clean the park, and hopefully the school board will get on board and partner with you, give you resources. So, so all this don't have to be on you because, again, if you own a parcel, it is your responsibility to keep the parcel clean. Community residents, we must keep our parcels clean. If not, Blight will come see us. The same should be with commercial buildings, government buildings, school buildings. We need to make sure that we're maintaining a level of cleanliness. So hopefully this will ring the alarm and ensure that our Flint Public Schools is doing their part to keep our city clean. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council members would like to have comment?
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
I appreciate all of the hard work that everyone who works to clean up our parks and our neighborhoods do. And I always support the people who do that work in the 4th Ward. I provide them services, or I get them in touch with those who can provide services, garbage bags, dumpsters, whatever. So if anyone is planning something, reach out to your council person or the council person of that area and let them do the job for you, get that information to you, or provide the data. I know that I have been approached by residents about cleaning up a property. I set this stuff in motion, and then other people step in and try to take credit for work that I had already done. And it is very frustrating to do that and to have that done to you. So, Mr. Gwynn, congratulations on what you've done, and thank you very much for all you've done in that area. I appreciate it, and I know that the residents do as well.
Thank you. Any other council members would like to have a comment? Any other council members? Seeing no movement, we will, in this case, be able to move past the consent agenda and go to our special order discussion items. Discussion item, public safety funding organizations, a discussion item as requested by Council President Mashat to allow for a 20-minute discussion on public safety funding organizations who do community violence intervention.
Thank you. So, and we can keep this as long or short as you all would like. Bottom line is we see all of the latest string of violence that we've had happen in our city, gun-related violence. There are a lot of organizations who are doing work directly in the streets, directly with those who are around that kind of life. And so what I want us to do is make sure that that funding that they need is getting to the right people, that is getting to the organizations who are doing the boots on the ground work. I know that there are some other things that will be proposed here in the coming days as far as the police and some of the work that they are going to do with community groups, but I want us as a council to also make sure that we're being proactive. There's also money that was offered up by the Mott Foundation, so I feel like if we could do some sort of matching fund to show that the city is also very much engaged and very much willing to make sure that we are lending any available resources to those community groups that are doing the work, that we're doing that as well. If anybody wanted to chime in and if they had any questions, we can go ahead and do that now. All right, Zink, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
is there a somewhat of a list of
There is.
providers? Okay, and that has been shared with the council?
Yeah, so what, I don't know that we can necessarily solicit. I know in my conversations with the attorney, there are a couple of avenues that we could possibly do, but I know that a couple of these groups have come to us before and asked for funding from the city. And so I'm asking that we take a look at those groups who have come to us before and asked for funding and look at funding the work that they are doing.
So do we want to do a RFP, or do we want
So
to
it wouldn't
just have
be
them?
necessarily proposal, we could do quotes. We could do RFQs. It's just however we want to shape it, but there were groups who have come before us before, who are doing this work, who for whatever the reason, at the time, they were not afforded the funding that I think could have prevented, obviously not all, but could have helped in preventing some of what we're seeing now.
Do we have somewhat of a idea as to what type of dollars we would want to allocate or try to allocate?
Yes. So, and again, it all goes to how many of the groups we were looking to fund, because that might change the dollar amount, because they all asked for specific amounts to continue their operations. But from the 2 or 3 groups that did approach us as for funding, I know that it was about 150,000.
I guess my question, let me maybe ask this.
Okay.
How much do we have total to work with?
So I am proposing up to 150,000, but again, it's something we would have to decide as a body.
A total bucket of 250? Or
150.
a total bucket of 150?
Yes.
To be spread amongst potentially a
Well,
few?
the groups that have already asked, right, and we, for whatever the reason, did not necessarily move on the resolutions, or we didn't create a resolution for the ask. I'm asking that we now consider the funding for those groups, and that dollar amount around there was 150.
But only those groups?
This is the conversation. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
So, that's why I'm asking. 'Cause,
Yeah.
it could be that there are groups, and I don't remember which groups did or didn't and how much they requested. But it could be that groups did not respond then that may have the ability to respond now and provide, service. Because the need, I think all of us would agree the need is great. And as was stated earlier, I'm not always, more hands, lighter load. So if that we may be able to be inclusive of some vendors who didn't initially reply or request dollars, that would be good.
I do agree with that. I just want us to be cognizant of the fact that if there is a certain amount, and the more you add to that amount, the less, you know what I'm saying, impactful the amount we're giving might be at all, if that makes sense. And so I do agree that there are vendors or people who may do this work who have not had an opportunity, right? And I think that it would be good to look at everyone who does this work, but I also want us to make sure that we are not also dragging our feet or holding up as well. So I think that we can do what you're saying and that we can also do it efficiently, you know what I'm saying, in a timely manner, as opposed to we're talking about this now in August and we're still nowhere with it in November, if that makes sense.
Where are these dollars gonna come from?
General fund. I mean, we put everything there. So where else will we get it from? There's literally nowhere else to get it from. So, oh, you can talk into your mic. It's a discussion. Yeah.
She's here, y'all. At your birds. Oh, Lord. Get ready.
Madam Chair, what are the name of the programs?
Mr. Chair, but yeah.
Mr. Chair.
So
I
we
apologize for that.
we have not named specific groups. This is the conversation just about putting it out there publicly that we will come up with a resolution and we'll be looking for groups. We're going to look at some of the groups who have come before us before and we weren't able to fund at the time for whatever the reason, and they do the community violence prevention work. And I know that I attend, as well as you attend, some of those collaborative meetings. And it's there are a lot of groups in those collaborative meetings that, you know, and so I think that this is an opportunity to work with, you know, the collaborative, even if it's or maybe we look at putting some funding into the collaborative and they, you know, come up with a plan and we see if we want to fund that. I'm just throwing it out there that if we have 150,000 and we look at what it means to, and it's the groups that, because you know from the collaborative, they are actually on the ground doing the work in the neighborhoods. And so that's going to be the important piece of this. Not that we're throwing money somewhere to some people who are not going to come out of an office. Not interested in that.
And so, are we opening this up to everyone? Because I think with the collaborative, I think the community has been real clear on saying, we need people, we have to go where they're at.
And that's what the groups in the collaborative do. But if there are other groups, yes.
There are other groups that I would like to, you talking about opening this up? Because there are some groups that, and people who are doing some good work.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had some groups where we had downtown, I think there were 2 of them downtown,
Mm-hmm.
where they had a group of men, which these young people need mentors.
Some of them are in the collaborative. I know what you're talking about,
They're
yeah.
in the collaborative, but then like also Calvary has a program.
Okay.
What they do, Pastor Timmons was here speaking about conflict resolution. So I think looking at that and I want to be inclusive of all groups.
No,
and then we also need to deal with, you know, people think it's just our young males. It's not. It's our young females too.
I'm not
Yeah.
putting it one group or another. Whoever is doing actual boots on the ground work in the community, working with, and not just the youth, but obviously we have adults who are also committing these acts that the collaborative works with the adults as well. Yeah. It's just who's doing the actual work on the ground in the community. That, for me, that is the key piece. That's what's going to be most important.
Are you limiting it to a number of groups? And if you're saying 150,000, how much per group?
So that's what I'm saying for all of us to consider is the more groups you add, the less money each group gets. And I don't know how impactful that's going to be for every group. So it can look however we decide. I just want us to keep all of those things in mind.
How did we
Go
come
ahead.
to the 150? Where, is that a number that we are proposing, or is that a number that has been earmarked for us in this
Earmarked, you're
specifically?
funny.
Huh?
This is me earmarking. It's not been earmarked. I don't know if you all were here during budget hearings, but I had asked for earmarked dollars for quite a few things. And this was one of the things, and that was the dollar amount that I had asked to be earmarked.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Mr. Chair, rather than setting a dollar amount at this time, or even, I know that this is just a discussion, or setting a dollar amount, I would like to see proposals from the community with their dollar amount attached, and then we can look at how much that may cost to provide much services to the community as possible. If we set $150,000, it may be $250,000 that we might use. I don't know. I'd rather deal with it on a case-by-case basis rather than a pot of money. I just think that that might be the better way to go, rather than limiting a pool of money. But that's me, and I'm open to all suggestions. You know, this violence is so systemic of today's society, and especially in an area where so few students actually graduate high school, which is very concerning to me. That I'm open to any and all suggestions, because I just feel it's a societal situation, and I don't know where to turn.
Councilman Pfeiffer.
I'm mixed on this because, one, I'm disappointed that the police chief hasn't come before us and asked for any more resources. And for us to sit here and try to address some kind of nonprofit that's going to solve our problems, that's just not the way the world works. Now, throwing $150,000, whatever arbitrary number we come up with, isn't going to address the root problem of no jobs or declining communities or anything else. The people who are shooting up our neighborhoods aren't going to go sign up for a damn knitting class. And that's, to me, that's, we're going to go and have an after-school program or whatever. The people who, in those programs are great, but the folks that are shooting up our neighborhoods aren't interested in those. So we're throwing good money after bad, trying to fix the problem, but until we get more police resources or any kind of involvement from this police chief, to me is a good but wasted opportunity. And to automatically come up with, and I get it, we're trying to spend the least to get the most results, but to come up with the dollar value now and say we only have $150,000, to me, we have, to save our community, we have every damn dollar in the general fund, like $150,000. That's going to get eaten up in admin fees for whatever nonprofit that is chosen. So without any proposals, and also the folks that are in the ground doing the community, or on the ground now, they're saying they're doing the work now. We need to continue to fund them. It's not working. What they're doing is not working. So why would we continue to fund a program that's not working? If our neighborhoods are still getting shot up, we're not addressing the correct folks to stop shooting them up. And you know, we're maybe keeping those people out of crimes or harm's way, but we're not getting the criminals off the street. I just think that this, without having anything in front of us to look at and any kind of metrics to look at, any kind of success record, I think that this is a needed conversation, but I think it is premature, and I'll yield.
So, Mr. Chair, because I want to be completely clear, and I want to make sure we stay on what I said. I didn't mention after school. I didn't mention nonprofits that said anything about what you said. I said people who are actually on the ground in the community doing the boots on the ground work. Those were my exact words. We've had plenty of people who have come before us who are not doing after-school knitting, as you put it, which I didn't even mention, but who are actually in the community. And so for us to say what they're doing is not working, you don't know how many guns they might have stopped from hitting the street, how many people they might have stopped from hurting someone. So let's not diminish someone else's work only because you see what's right in front of you. There's a lot of work that gets done that you do not see. And the reason I put a dollar amount on it was for the sake of conversation. At the beginning of this conversation, I said it can be what we make it. Just be clear that we do not have endless pots of money, and it is realistic to shape around a number. That's everything that I said in the beginning. This whole conversation is based on council trying to do our part to help prevent as much violence as we can. What I don't want groups that are out there doing this work to do, that have come before us and asked us for money and have not gotten it, I don't want them to hear council diminishing their work. That's not fair, and that's ridiculous. Just because you see the numbers of people who have been harmed, there are a lot of numbers of people who have not been harmed because these groups are doing this work that we do not see. And that's why we're elected, to make sure that we are helping out our community. That's why the community entrusted us and voted for us to do this work. And so we need to continue doing the work we've been entrusted to do. It's easy to stand in the audience and yell out with no solutions. I applaud you. Thank you. Continue to do nothing. Thanks so much. Great job.
Madam President.
But as I was saying, the whole point in us sitting up here as a council having this discussion is so that we can figure out where we can put the money, where we can put the dollars, how much money we're putting there. I think it's really sad that as a conversation about community violence and community violence prevention goes forward, rather than solutions being yelled out, it's just more negativity when we're trying to come up with solutions. It's really sad. Proving my point, thanks. Now, is there anyone else on council who would like to speak to this?
So, I would like.
It's my discussion item. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I would like to encourage my colleagues, because I know I got a unanimous vote of no when I brought up the school violence ordinance, but this is the whole point. The residents came to us and said, what can we do? Looked across the street, Grand Blanc had an ordinance in place and said that if you fight, you get community service. It's restorative justice. But not just that, they have remedial pieces that plug some gaps, which said, okay, you know, you might be fighting because you are bereaved. You lost your grandma raised you, so let's get you in grief counseling, okay? You need anger management counseling. You're a little hot-tempered. Let's go ahead and fix those situations. Let's go ahead and give you the services, as well as making it a community benefit. And I was unfortunately shot down by my colleagues. And so I want to know if we can bring that back, because every piece of a solution helps. It is not the answer, but it's part of the answer. So before you go and get your Draco and shoot something up, okay, because we're talking about in school. If you learn, if you get the skills that you need through school, then when you're in the streets, you're more not likely to do things of that nature, because you have these interventions in place through the school. This is not punitive at all. It does not go on your record, but what it does, it serves as an intervention. If this body is serious about curbing violence among the youth, we'll start there. We'll explore everything. Let's look at all possibilities, all solutions, because it is important again. So just like Councilman Pfeiffer was saying, you know, the people that we're talking about, the basket knitters, they're not the ones with the Draco. How do I know? They pulled a Draco on me in the 2nd Ward. So people that swear they want this seat on the north side, it gets really real like that. But the point is, we have to have some interventions in place so they understand, okay, this is what happens when somebody make you mad. When somebody bump into you, you don't shoot them. But if we don't have these interventions in place, If we play politics instead of what works, we're going to continue to have these discussions, these much-needed discussions. So I'm open to everything. Let's get serious. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you. Yes,
I'd
Councilwoman.
like to put a motion for to add 15 more minutes, please.
Can we start with 10?
Absolutely.
Let's start with 10 without objection.
Thank you. May I have the floor, Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So violence is a problem in our community, and not to diminish the work that the groups have been doing, because they're underfunded to take it beyond where they need to go. And yes, we do need more dollars. We absolutely do. But I think we also have to look at what really works, and we do need the input of the police chief, because we need the raw data. We need to know where they're shooting, where the pockets at, what type of crimes that they're doing, because they're not just shooting, they're stabbing too. And so when we look at all of this, we have to take it all in, all of it. And sometimes we may have to work with people we normally don't work with to get something done. I actually did meetings with Councilwoman Lewis so that it was about the school one, but until they stated with the city attorney, we didn't have jurisdiction over their schools. And that was the issue. We don't govern their board. And looking at what our children face and Grand Blanc face is different. We had someone who was on Pulaski who was shot and killed this past weekend. You deduct 12 years off, that person would have been 10. They were born into the water crisis. We know that lead stays in the body, that it affects how you think, it affects your brain, and we're not dealing with, that's a root problem. And so when we're dealing with the root problems, then we can better find out. We have poverty, we're a marginalized community. So how do we work with the groups, with council, with other agencies? What are other communities doing that's working? Because just putting, and it's not just putting, which is a great effort. You said, I just put that on there, Councilwoman Mashat, just to get it started at 150. But it definitely, Mr. Pfeiffer said, let's spend it all. What does it take to save our community? So I think we all encompass saying we want to save our kids, we want to save our youth, and we have to look at the ages that's doing the shooting, the stabbing, the aggressive behavior, and then work with the groups and what groups already have it in place to maybe go further with what they're doing, but are severely underfunded. Because we do need to touch the kids. We need to take them. We need to go where they're at. We need to take it out of a meeting and go where they are at to encompass them. And that to me is something when I've seen the number of children, and some are not even walking when we have toddlers, 10-month-olds, 9-month-olds, 11-month-olds who are shot. We had on Tebow Street, it was, I think, a 10-month-old who had gotten shot. We've had an 11-month-old. We had a 10-month-old on Pulaski Street. And that same night, 2 other people got shot on Pulaski Street in a home. So the problem is severe, and we need to look at the data. The police chief needs to be involved, because we need to know exactly what types of crimes, where, and where do we have a dedicated gang task force, not one that we share with other communities. Because the problem is, they're in gangs, and these gangs are serious. They're serious, and they don't care. And they call you up before they shoot your house up. I've seen them do run-throughs and drive-throughs where they place it on social media, and then they'll make a song about it.
Yeah, I'll call you back, I'm at a council meeting right now.
So these are things, and it's not just one side of town, it's all sides of town. It's the north side, east side, south side, west side. And I have had tape at the end of my driveway where 2 teens, a 17 and 19-year-old were shot on Labor Day. It has been brought to many of our streets, the police chief and the mayor's street. We have a problem. So with the conversation, we have to work together. This is when we have to come together for this. But we need his data, his information, because the latest statistics showed that Flint is the 7th most violent city in Michigan. We are the 51st most violent according to the FBI statistics. And so we have got to come together, not just we got to go out to the streets. We got to give these kids and these young people some love, give them some guidance, give them some structure. And we got to work with the school district. We have to. I mean, whether we like it or not, we got to work with them because they go to school. That's the one place where we can get to where those children are at is in school. Not just public schools, we have charter schools. So we have to get to our kids wherever they're at. And a good place to get to them is hanging out when these gas stations and stores are at, because they're there. And they do videotapes. They show you where they at. So I hope we can come together because it's too much. It's too many grieving parents. I just had last Friday, 2 moms called me. Her daughter was 17 on Johnson Street, got killed, and she's still waiting because there's so many cases that are backlogged where we need Chief Green to know what's going on. Why aren't we getting a response? Because we don't have enough officers to work the cases. They just did a drive-by, was it last week again? Was it on Patterson? They did it at 12 o'clock, came back and did it at 3 o'clock. They're not afraid of the police. So we've got real issues that we need to know what it is that the chief is doing. And let's not just leave out the Flint Police Chief. We need Sheriff Swanson. We need the Michigan State Police. We need all agencies, all hands on deck. That is what we need. So I yield the floor.
Madam Chair, or Madam, Mr. Chair, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So I just wanted to address this, the ordinance that Councilman Burns brought up. Yes, she was definitely at the table, and the issue has nothing to do with the attorneys. The issue had nothing to do with the attorneys. I just want to be clear, because if we're going to be factual and actual, we must do that. The issue was that people felt that we were overstepping the school board, but here's the deal. This wasn't just affecting the school board, this was all schools in the municipality of the city of Flint. That's who the ordinance was going to target. And so you can opt in or opt out. If the schools opted that they didn't want to use this piece of legislation to help curb it, because the next day after we voted no, a young man was getting his head stomped at Homes, and it was on video. This is what it is. So I want to be clear, it has nothing to do with the legal and the law, because I went and worked directly with the magistrates, with attorneys, and with judges to make sure that it was crafted. Oh, I did, and I can call out the names.
Okay.
And so, again, our mayor candidate, you don't shoot people when we're trying to work with each other and talk about what's important. We're talking about youth violence.
Point of order. Can she stay, Jermaine? We need to be working right now.
I'm gonna ask if all of us can stay to working towards what our next step is going to be, and not necessarily looking back to try to document what has already occurred.
Yes.
Let's look at what steps we should be taking going forward, if we can do that.
Well, that's fine. So one of the steps that I will propose, and I'll bring in the ordinance back, if we bring back the school violence ordinance and we talk about it and put it on the floor and talk about it and see how it can help benefit our community. Those that are engaging in the fights, that's who this ordinance is targeting. It's targeting those specific people. So I will do that as part of my contribution to the conversation, bring it back, and we'll see what's the pleasure of the body. So thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. In the last minute and almost a half, Councilwoman in the 7th Ward, did you have any last
Thank you, Mr.
remarks?
Chair. Absolutely. The whole point in this discussion, the spirit of this discussion, which has been derailed like no other, was to talk about the community groups who are doing boots on the ground work. The fact that they have come before us time and time again, asking for funding to help continue the work, and the fact that we need to look at funding the groups who are doing this work. All of this other stuff that we're getting derailed into, I would ask that we come back together and focus on the fact that you're not going to get 9 people who agree totally about anything other than the fact that the violence in our community is unacceptable. There are people who do this work every day who can, yes, work with the police, who can work with other community members who do this work, but every day we sit up here and every day we go back and forth, like you said, about what could have been is a day wasted and potentially another life lost that one of these groups could have impacted. Half the problem is, for some reason in Flint, all of a sudden we demonize the word nonprofit when nonprofits have saved us in so many ways. But because it is now politically expedient to demonize nonprofits, we keep having the most heinous things to say about them when they are simply people trying to do their work and they get caught up in everything else. Let's do the work, let's figure out the number, let's figure out the groups and move this forward and help curb the violence in our community.
Thank you. We're going to now bring this discussion item to a close. And there's a motion to adjourn brought forth by the councilman in the 8th Ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 7th Ward. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Adjourning.
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. This meeting is adjourned. The special affairs meeting is adjourned at 5:47.
He's like, where's my little cutie pie? I'm like, yeah, girl, but she gotta be like 26, 25, she young. Tell me, if I was your age, I said, what you gonna do? So he didn't want to go to the bathroom. She's like, well, just put your little thing in the thing. He's like, my thing ain't little. I'm like, my daddy is the best. Them people at Hurley, we gonna have to get him a check. No. So I'm gonna go back to get my dad.
For those of you who have not had an opportunity to fill out speaker slips, the time is now to fill out speaker slips for the city council meeting. They're located in the back. The time is now 5:54 p.m. on Monday, August 24th. I hereby call this Flint City Council meeting to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin? Excuse me, Dr. Lewis?
Present.
Ms. Johnson?
Present.
Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 9 members present.
We have 9 members present. It is now time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilwoman Johnson, if you would, lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It is time for the prayer of blessing. But before we get to that, is there anyone who would like to acknowledge a grieving family or lost loved one?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Priestley.
Yes, I'd like to acknowledge Jimmy Craig Gordon, his family, Beth Rael's family, and Michael Barrett.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Seeing as how there. Oh.
Sorry,
Oh.
Madam Chair. I'd like to acknowledge Mary Wick's family, the Payton family. Have a special prayer for them.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, seeing as how there's no one else, Councilman in the 9th Ward, if you will.
Lord, we thank you for this day that you have made. We thank you because of you. You are our reason to rejoice and to be glad. We say that this that you are doing in our lives is marvelous in our eyes. Lord, we thank you that you've allowed us to come together to represent the residents of the city and to hear and have input, and to have input given to us from residents of the city as to how and those things that are relevant and important and germane to them. Lord, we ask that you would lead us and guide us, that the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts would be found acceptable in your sight. Help us to be mindful that we are here for your purpose, and that you would get glory out of all that we say and all that we do. We pray this in all prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. It's now time for the reading of the Disorderly Person City Code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agenda changes and/or additions? Seeing as how there are no requests for changes and/or additions, we are now going to go into the public hearings that we have scheduled. The first public hearing is 260245.6, which is the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land, Food Bank, Eastern Michigan. At this time, if there's anyone who would like to speak specifically to the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land, Food Bank of Eastern Michigan, you may approach the lectern. I want to remind everyone that during public hearings, we stay germane to what the public hearing is about.
Hello, I'm Howard L. Mitchell. I reside at 759 East Linden Avenue by the graveyard, Graceland, and you know, people know where that at. Anyway, about this zoning about the food bank over behind Channel 12, where Boneheads was in charge of everybody the mayor, known as the mayor, the little guy downstairs. with the bald head, calling the shots up, telling the people at Channel 12 who to film and who not to broadcast. Like Madam Burns was she was making an interview, and he told them don't broadcast that Madam Burns' situation was and they do exactly what the mayor tell them to do, because he a member of Channel 12. Wherever weather food, we enlarge with Barbara C.W., the one that talking about the mayor and this cherry picking. She going on to glory now, but she made it possible to enlarge the food bank while the people in Flint is being starved to death and poisoned, and people act like there's nothing going on, like the second ward lady over there with that mask on her face.
Mr. Mitchell,
And,
please pause this time.
What?
Mr. Mitchell, I need you to stay germane to the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land for the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan. Please start this time.
Like I say, I'm Jermaine, Toto, and Tito, and all that stuff. And Jermaine, and who you think you talking to, lady? You just get finish Whittier Junior High School where you started at, and don't start like you did on Burson Fieldhouse and quit and think darkies don't know what to do with the money. You just, in matter of fact, stay tuned, New York. I keep coming back, because Ms. Byrne gonna tear them a new, I was finna say the other thing, but gonna finna a new wheel with them. I must reprove this message.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land, Food Bank of Eastern Michigan?
Yeah, I keep on seeing all these rezonings coming up from the master plan. I came up here before about the green zone, and I forgot who it was, but you all were supposed to ask about the master plan about the green zone. Why hasn't anyone from this council put on the floor that we do away with the green zones in the master plan? We keep on going and waiting for certain individuals to come before you to change their zoning. But on the north side, we can't even have a high school in the green zone. We can't even rebuild Northwestern to be a high school because it's in the green zone. If it's not green, you can't build it. The green zone need to be done away with. When Kevin, I forgot his last name, was it with the Planning Commission, it was a section that was Green Innovative, between Martin Luther King, Saginaw, Pearson, and Carpenter Road. If their house burned up, they couldn't rebuild that house. So Kerry Nelson was the president at the time. And Kevin came up because they didn't know about it. Kevin came up and told them that it's true. So what they did, instead of knocking it all the way out, they just changed it to where they have to come down here before the Planning Commission and ask for permission to rebuild their house if it burned to a certain point. It shouldn't be like that. Y'all should be able to do away with the green zone. I should be able to put more than a farm or a garden or a gazebo. I should be able to build a garage on that empty lot if I want to. I should be able to extend, because that's what a lot of people are able to do. That's why they buy lots and package deals, because they're able to build more. Change the charter to where you can build more than a certain square feet. Change it. I mean, that's something that you all can do. We shouldn't have to keep on saying, we don't need to go get a variable or go get a reasonable accommodation or whatever the case may be. We should be able to build on a lot that we purchase, a garage, put a driveway or whatever we want to do with that property. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to remind everybody, this is the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land for the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the public hearing of rezoning 8 parcels of land for the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan?
Hi, my name is Myola Shook-Dunn. I've never been to a city council meeting before, first one, so I have the little slip that I did not put in the box, but I have it right here. I have a quick question, though. What does the rezoning look like for the food bank? Can somebody from the food bank come tell us? What is that?
Good question.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else for the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land, Food Bank of Eastern Michigan? Going once. Is there? Okay.
Hi, I'm Terry Nix. I'm Vice President of Food Sourcing and Logistics, Food Bank of Eastern Michigan. We need a bigger building. We now distribute 39+ million pounds of food a year. We cover 22 counties, and 16 million pounds of that stays in Genesee County, stays in our neighborhood right here. I have trailers out running where our existing building is, keeping our milk and produce cool because we don't have the cooler space. This is good for the community, for us to do. We're moving our operations to a bigger building with a bigger freezer, bigger cooler, and overall, it's gonna help everyone that needs help from us.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wants to speak to the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land for the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan? Is there anyone else who wants to speak to the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land for the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan? Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land for the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan? Seeing as how there is no one else, we will go ahead and close out that public hearing. Moving on to public hearing 260246.6, which is the rezoning of Powers Catholic High School campus. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this resolution, to this public hearing?
Hi, I'm Kate Gross, president of Powers Catholic High School. I was just calling to speak on our behalf. We've been to a couple different zoning commission meetings, and it looks like it was erroneously rezoned as a residential walk-up. It's always been a state parcel of land, and it has been entrusted to us as a school. It was intended to be a school forever, so we're just requesting to be rezoned for a school.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wants to speak to the public hearing rezoning Powers Catholic High School campus?
Good evening. I'm Mitchell, R.L. Mitchell, Madam Chair. Speaking to Powers rezoning, my pastor went through Powers High School as a kid, and now he moved it over on Court Street. And now he in the Vatican right now, in Rome. He showed me on the telly last night. He participating on going in there and having service with the Pope. I hope he say something about this rezoning, about Powell's moving from Carpenter Road over to Court Street, and talking about curbing the violence with the stuff in Grand Blanc. The people can't even go to the gas station and fight without getting on a yard work like the second ward lady talking about, like they sold to the jailhouse. That's not American style, lady. That's unprecedency. Yeah, Lewis, Dr. Lewis, you invented that stuff. Kids got a right to concern their student body how they get arrested, not go on to they sold to the juvenile on Pasadena, and they take care of them pit bulldogs more than they take care of the kids next door to them. The kids 12 years old locked up, and the women's out there training pit bulldogs to kill them peoples on the east side. What they got them homeless houses, and then they put them 2 pit bulldogs in the man's house and think he's scared to go in his own house. You open the door and run behind the garage, and the pit bulldogs come out and go their own way. Think nobody don't know that stuff. They be training them old drunken bulldogs at all nothing but pit bulldogs at Pasadena dog pond. Out there in the yard, none but women's doing that junk. And the man inside, who kind of stuff invented that? Anyway, the dude's in here right now with the wheelchair, and he had a situation coming up the steps, and he ain't talked yet.
Mr. Mitchell, 44 seconds on the rezoning of Powers Catholic High School campus.
You don't have to remind me. I see the clock, lady. Okay, like I say. And to you, Miss Mashak, you are the problem to the situation about this Powers High School. When you come in and talking about whistling that stuff to the mayor to be Tanya Burns, and you're supposed to be transparent, and you, like I say, Tanya Burns gonna tell you, I almost said it. But anyway, stay tuned, America. I will let you approve this message.
Is there anyone else on the public hearing rezoning of Powers Catholic High School campus? Is there anyone else on the public hearing rezoning Powers Catholic High School campus? Is there anyone else on the public hearing rezoning Powers Catholic High School campus? Seeing as how there isn't anyone else for that public hearing, that public hearing is closed out. Moving to public hearing 260270.6, which is the public hearing ordinance Flint City Code Chapter 3, advertising and signs, Article 2, licenses and permits. Is there anyone for this public hearing? Is there anyone for the public hearing for the ordinance Flint City Code Chapter 3, advertising and signs, Article 2, licensing and permits?
They didn't put these in order, all right. 276. I thought you was gonna go in order.
I am in order, 260270.6.
Is this along with all the other ones, that big stack?
Correct.
I didn't see, is it the one, that has moving it from the clerk's office to the planning?
That's what all of these are.
Yeah, I didn't see it in here.
It's on page 2 of 15.
These all have 270, 275.
Nope, page 2 of 15.
284. I don't see any with 176.
260270.6.
It's not in here.
I
But
don't-
anyway.
I don't know what you have.
We good. My thing is, back in 1988, James Blanchard, he signed into law emergency manager. And we know what happened with the emergency manager. Another governor got into office and brought that emergency management law to Flint, and we were poisoned. I'm not saying that this mayor or the future mayor or any other mayor will do this, but what I am saying is you're taking it from someone that would be neutral and putting it in a place where
Point 6 just refers to the public hearing. That's the actual ordinance. So those are.
See, y'all playing with us. No, I'm just joking. But if it's a mayor, say it's a mayor that I financed the other mayor, his or her opponent, and they get into office, well, then you have ordinances like dance hall, dance floor, business license. You have all these different things. And that mayor can say, you know what? We don't want that individual to have businesses. I'm not saying that the mayor do that, but we go back to Blanchard and Snyder. They can stop or prevent anyone from doing it or getting those licenses. So it should stay with the clerk's office. Thank you.
I was going to give you your last 3 seconds because I know she came over there. So, all right. So, seems like you've got time. Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 3, advertising and signs, article licenses and permits. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 3, advertising and signs, Article 2, licenses and permits. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this?
Hello. You know who I am, Madam Chair. Ira L. Mitchell, in case you forgot my name. About these licenses for the beer and wine store in my neighborhood. I'm very appalled that you're messing with my groceries attendant by taking you taking, I don't know why I don't speak for this up, but you messing with the lottery machine, taking them out, all of them because they ain't got their license, and then messing with the food, what they do got in the refrigerator, and taking them out and think they ain't saying nothing about it. I don't appreciate you doing the Palestinian, whatever they is, they cousin us, Palestinians and the Israelis, but some of them telling me, Mitchell, say something to my father up in Jerusalem. They put me right on film and talk. They said at the prayer hour, I want you to,
Mr. Mitchell, please pause this time. Mr. Mitchell, this is not a conversation about religious beliefs. This is a conversation about a public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 3, advertising and signs, Article 2, licenses and permits.
But ma'am, okay, I told him I was gonna say something about it, but even if that'll do, beer and wine down on Saginaw Street, we got all that property across the street where I was jumped on by the popo, refused to get in the car with a gun held on me. Anyway, but they told me to mention their father's kings and, okay, stay tuned, America, and you're gonna see how Madam Burns take care of this situation.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 3, advertising and signs, Article 2, licenses and permits? Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 3, advertising and signs, Article 2, licenses and permits? Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 3, advertising and signs, Article 2, licenses and permits? Seeing as how there is no one else, that public hearing is closed. Moving on to public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 7, ambulances, Article 1, licenses, Article 2, attendances and drivers. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this during this public hearing?
Yes, hello.
I want to remind everyone before we start his time that this public hearing is ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 7, ambulances, Article 1, licenses, Article 2, attendances and drivers. Go ahead.
Well, like I say, before I was interrupted with the information you're trying to give me before I started talking about Chief Wiggins, he called himself getting the money for the ambulances and the drivers, but he paying the people who go pick up, and they don't go in certain areas to pick up people who really need the ambulance. And when they pick them up, they bring them too late to Hurley Hospital, and they might as well take them straight to the morgue, not before they check their driver's license to see if they have any donors on their license. That's all the ambulance department is all about. Transplanting people's body parts to another body parts. They act like they're concerned about the ambulance service, but Mr. Wiggins, he knows this, but he just retired, coming back trying to teach the young people how to get over in Flint, Michigan, just like the popo in the ambulance and all. Stay tuned, America. You're going to see how Madam Burns will take care of the situation. Got that?
Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 7, ambulances, Article 1, licenses, Article 2, attendances and drivers. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this?
Back to, I read the article earlier, and I saw where Clerk Donahue said that she does not have the capacity to do this right here. you all have the purse string, you can put money or monies in the clerk's office to allow her to hire, because planning and development probably would have to end up getting people extra to do the job also. And like I say, it's nothing against anyone. It's just the fact that I just see sometimes people like to take advantage, or they see a loophole in doing some things that shouldn't be done. And we like to change laws and put laws in place that ends up being detrimental to the people. Instead of helping, it ends up hurting the people. And I think this would be one of them. Like, just reading this right here, if the city has to pay the city clerk or pay the planning and development, how would they do that? I mean, would they take it from one department and send it over to the other department? Because now it would come from the fire department, where they have to pay for their license and everything. Instead of it going to the city clerk, it would go to planning and development. So does that go into planning and development budget, or does it go into the general fund? I mean, I'm just asking a question. I don't know. I don't know how that would be. But like I say, I think that it should stay with the city clerk, because the city clerk is a neutral person, and it wouldn't be in position to where you all can tell her who to approve and who not to approve, and the mayor couldn't say who to approve and who not to approve. It would be a neutral person. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to public hearing ordinance Flint City Code Chapter 7, ambulances, Article 1, licenses, Article 2, attendances and drivers? Is there anyone else who would like to speak to public hearing ordinance Flint City Code Chapter 7, ambulances, Article 1, licenses, Article 2, attendances and drivers? Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the public hearing ordinance Flint City Code Chapter 7, ambulances, Article 1, licenses, Article 2, attendances and drivers? Seeing as how there is no one who would like to speak, there isn't anyone else who would like to speak to this public hearing, it is now closed. Moving on to public hearing 260272.6, ordinance Flint City Code Chapter 8, amusements, Article 2, billiard halls, pool rooms, and bowling alleys. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to during this public hearing? Just want to remind everyone before they speak that this public hearing is ordinance Flint City Code Chapter 8, amusements, Article 2, billiard halls, pool rooms, and bowling alleys.
Hello, I'm R.L. Mitchell. Speaking on this bowling alley and pool halls, I was out in Grand Blanc the other day. Over there way out there on Hill Road somewhere in the dark, picking up my significant other, baby, daughter, girl, and the pool hall was next door. I decided to go in, but she said, "Stay in the car, this is Grand Blanc. You be scaring people." But the ordinance, the Grand Blanc is it's all out of whack, and Flint got all the pool halls right on Flint Park Street. We open that one, and then they don't got no more bowling leagues no more, cause everybody in cahoots, just like the Board of Education. They don't speak up when the school kids is getting beat up, meeting at the gas station, knowing who they're gonna shoot and who they're gonna make a video film and making movies and everything out about it, and just people's like me, supposed to be a senior citizen, and people's making all that money, and they just sedity with it. Anyway, like I say, I can talk on this stuff, but the mayor-to-be will have the last word. In the words of Tanya Burns, stay tuned, America.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak on public hearing ordinance Flint City Code Chapter 8, amusements, Article 2, Billard Halls, pool rooms, and bowling alleys. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on the public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, Amusements? Article 2, Billard Halls, pool rooms, and bowling alleys. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on the public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, Amusements? Article 2, Billard Halls, pool rooms, and bowling alleys. Seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak on this public hearing, that public hearing is now closed. Now,
Madam Chair,
Councilman in the 8th Ward.
since we have 20-some more of these to go, I'm going to make a motion to enact 260-245.6 and 260-246.6 immediately, and I so move.
Madam Clerk.
Just for the record, the .6 just references the
point
public
one.
hearing.
Is it point one?
I'm not
Or
sure.
is it just, I'm gonna make a motion to enact ordinance 260-245 and 260-246, and I so move.
245.6.
No, just, that's, she said that, it's just the number. It's just the ordinance number.
I'm not clear on what's happening.
I'm enacting these immediately so that folks can leave and don't have to do
Enacting with,
the first two, the rezonings.
so is 5.6 not the correct?
The .6s just refer to the accompanying public
I understand, I'm
hearing,
with you,
so
okay.
He's voting
Thank you,
on
Judy, I
the
got it
ordinances
now.
on page 11.
All right, so 260-245 and 260-246.
Yep.
There's a motion to enact immediately. Is there support? Supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Why y'all did just enact them all immediately?
We can't, we gotta go through hearing on them. But these people don't need to sit here for 27 hour elemental conversation.
It's been moved and properly supported. We don't have to discuss this, do we, Madam Clerk?
I'm sorry?
Is there discussion? Is there anyone who would like to have discussion in the first round? Anyone who would like to have discussion in the second round? Seeing as how there is any desire for discussion, this is the roll call vote to enact 260-245, 260-246 immediately. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin? Yes. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no, that those two items are enacted. We're done. And those two items, I'm sorry, was the public hearing rezoning 8 parcels of land, Food Bank of Eastern Michigan, 260-245, and 260-246 was the public hearing rezoning Powers Catholic High School campus. Both have been enacted. Moving on to public hearing 260-273.6. It's public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, Amusements, Article 3, Card Tables. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, Amusements, Article 3, Card Tables.
Hello, I'm Mario Mitchell. Speaking on hard tables, community hard tables. The last time I ran into hard tables, I was on
Card tables.
same thing, card table. The card table, as I was talking about, was over on Appleton Road, and right in down on the right, coming from Burton in the woods, called a Gentleman Club. And I want you to know, I went in there. He let me in, waved something across me, make sure I didn't have no weapons, and I went straight to the pool table I couldn't lose for winning. I had to make myself quit. I played $5 a game, $15 a game, but I ain't had no money, but I was winning, and so I quit because I saw some food on the side, and the dude, when the guys inside it, and the woman came, started dancing for me. I had change. I got the change in my pocket and pulled out. I put the change, and she screamed, and the man went over to me and said, "You!" He put this. He said, "You ain't no gentleman." He grabbed me by my neck, bigoted. It's like that dude, like he said, he picked me almost, and that is I went over today. It's still going on now. I went down Dordt Highway, the same, messed up them card tables, but it was all in the gym. Hey, I can't speak on that because you see how the Dordt Highway look like a ghost town now. But sure enough, I must have wasn't no gentleman like the LL bot over there. Me and Mason made a deal with the people, and they got a hospital. Hey, you making me talk, but not saying nothing, Miss Massac. I'm not acting like Toto and Tito down, huh? Okay, stay germane and let Ms. Burns finish this up. I remember to approve this message.
Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 3, card tables. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 3, card tables. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 3, card tables. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there isn't anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing, it is now closed. Moving on to the next public hearing, 260274.6. Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 4, firing ranges and shooting galleries. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 4, firing ranges and shooting galleries. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 4, firing ranges and shooting galleries. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there is no one who wishes to speak to this public hearing, it is now closed. Moving on to public hearing ordinance 260275.6, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 5, public dance halls. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 5, public dance halls. Is there anyone who wishes to speak?
Yes, R.L. Mitchell again. Speaking on public dance hall, at the Crim Saturday, City Hall became a public dance hall because Bonehead down there invited everybody on the line to do the bunny trot. And the last time I remember doing the bunny trot, I was in Grand Blanc High School, right across the street from the gas station. The dude was a darky, a DJ, and all he was playing is the bunny trot stuff, and I just got up there and tried to do the bunny trot, and they look at me like, where that darky come from? And that's why I was insulted. Yes, so I turned around and tried to figure out a way to get back to downtown because the buses weren't running. I went sat down at the welfare office because I didn't walk back through the city. I walked all the way down. But something happened down there. What you talking about violence, I'll tell you later on, but right now I will tell you. I was insulted by the FBI. I thought he was a gypsy looking for the welfare was closed, but it was a black security guard woman came out and she told the gypsy, come inside the building. When he came out with his bag. He looked at me, he said, sir, I want you to know I'm the one that he tried to attack me. I just done kind of remove it. He missed me and he called me all kind of unknown words.
Could you please pause the time?
He said
Please
his
pause
daddy's
the time.
police and he's sued.
Mr. Mitchell, I want to remind you that this public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 5, public dance halls. Please continue speaking about public dance halls.
Public dance halls. Like, they made a dance hall down in the middle. Anyway, I danced my way back up, slowly up the Saginaw Street and got home, and I feel like I'm still in the Crim race right now, trying to get home. All that stuff I see in the streets and nobody talking about it. I saw Cortels getting out of the truck behind the Roman Catholic Church talking. They black, but they talking Mexican talk, and they don't move. Anyway, stay tuned, America. They got me jittery now.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to the public hearing ordinance Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 5, public dance halls? Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the public hearing ordinance Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 5, public dance halls? Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the public hearing ordinance Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 5, public dance halls? Seeing as how there is no one else who wishes to speak to public dance halls, this public hearing is now closed. Moving on to our next public hearing. 260276.6, which is a public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 6, public exhibitions and shows. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this? It's public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 6, public exhibitions, shows. Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 8, amusements, Article 6, public exhibition and shows. Seeing as how there is no one who would like to speak to this public hearing, it is now closed. Moving on to public hearing ordinance 260277.6, Flint City Code, Chapter 10, auction. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 10, auction. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 10, auction. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there is no one who wishes to speak to this public hearing is now closed. Moving on to public hearing 260278.6, ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 12, business and occupations, Article 1, general provisions. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 12, business and occupations, Article 1, general provisions. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 12, business and occupations, Article 1, general provisions. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there is no one who wishes to speak to this public hearing, it is now closed. Moving on to the next public hearing, 260279.6, which is the public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 26, licensing fees and other charges. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 26, licensing fees and other charges. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 26, licensing fees and other charges. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there's no one who wishes to speak to this public hearing, it is now closed. Moving on to the next public hearing, 260280.6, which is the ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 39, refuse, garbage, and weeds, Article 3, dumping grounds. Anybody who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint.
Hello, I'm Mario Mitchell. I want to speak to the dumping grounds in the city of Flint. The last time somebody got caught dumping in the community of my vicinity, the mayor happened to catch him. And he never got paid for it. He put it on camera and never told the public what happened to the person he caught dumping. And that's what Judge Regal said. And the late Mayor Stanley, Judge Regal said, do what you have to do, you and your buddies, to make Flint like it ought to be, like the industrial town it should be. And Judge Regal last week, as you noticed, he didn't use no microphone. And he never did say what him and his buddy are doing, but he should have been like Mr. Mott. Do stuff and don't look for credit after it, because their pocket is very deep. And you see where Woodrow Stanley stopped at, right where they put the boundary lines where I can walk through the Crim, down there with the Roman Catholic Church. The bus made me get off and made me walk all through the super cops ready to see somebody walking unworthily, to go oops upside their head and you know what. But they happened to notice, and then they started playing a sad tune. He stuck a feather in his hat, and here come macaroni. When I was coming across the bridge, they had a little band under the little rainbow, talking that junk. And then that's when they decided to run anyway because the lightning ceased. They're the act of God that messed up everybody downtown. But anyway, stay tuned, America. Tanya Byrne is on the way to address this situation. Take that and TikTok that.
Public hearing, ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 39, refuse, garbage, and weeds, Article 3, dumping grounds. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing, ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 39, refuse, garbage, and weeds, Article 3, dumping grounds. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing, ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 39, refuse, garbage, and weeds, Article 3, and dumping grounds. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there's no one who wishes to speak to it, it is closed. Moving on to public hearing 26028.1.6. It's the public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 42, streets and sidewalks, Article 5, sidewalk construction and repair, Division 3, permits and licenses. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 42, streets and sidewalks, Article 5, sidewalk construction and repair, Division 3, permits and licenses. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 42, streets and sidewalks, Article 5, sidewalk construction and repair, Division 3, permits and licenses. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there is no one who wishes to speak to this public hearing, it is now closed. Moving on to the next public hearing, ordinance, public hearing 26028.2.6, which is ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 42, streets and sidewalks, Article 2, applying oil chemical substances upon streets. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 42, streets and sidewalks, Article 2, applying oil chemical substances upon streets. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 42, streets and sidewalks, Article 2, applying oil chemical substances upon streets. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there is no one who wishes to speak to this public hearing 26028.2.6 is closed. Moving on to public hearing 26028.3.6, which is a public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 42, streets and sidewalks, Article 6, snow removal vehicles. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 42, streets and sidewalks, Article 6, snow removal vehicles. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 42, streets and sidewalks, Article 6, snow removal vehicles. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there is no one who wishes to speak to this public hearing, it is now closed. Moving on to our final public hearing of the evening, 26028.4.6, public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 49, weights and measures, Article 2, sale of gasoline and motor fuel. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 49, weights and measures, Article 2, sale of gasoline and motor fuel. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Public hearing ordinance, Flint City Code, Chapter 49, weights and measures, Article 2, sale of gasoline and motor fuel. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this public hearing? Seeing as how there is no one who wishes to speak to this public hearing is now closed. That is the end of all public hearings. It is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the City Council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box will be placed at the entrance to the City Council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only one speaking opportunity per speaker. First public speaker, Madam Clerk.
First speaker is Michael Gwynn.
I believe he left. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
R.L. Mitchell.
I'm R.L. Mitchell. Speaking on the boots on the ground situation, talk about that money paying them people who call themselves crime stoppers. They're getting paid under the table and over the table, and then they still acting like they ain't got enough money. Like for instance, I was attacked. Didn't know I was attacked, waiting for the bus by a gypsy-looking guy. He said some choice words to me, but he reached, tried to do something to my neck. But I reached, and he missed me. Then he went and stood in front of the city hall. Then I was waiting for the bus. Then I looked at, this is a young man, about 18 years old, walking down the street. I think he said the same thing to him. And I looked back around, the young man picked him up and continued beating the guy. Where he was hitting him, he could have killed him. But he got up like he was never beaten. And people was filming that stuff in cars, white people's. And then I met the same dude when I was waiting for the bus at the scrim. He came over to me, he said, I'm the man who, he shook my hand. He said, I want you to know I got a lawsuit. My daddy is the chief of police of Los Angeles, and my uncle is, they keep firing me. And when he said that, I said, wow. And I know he says he sued so more than $1,000. That's why attorney and 6 more white dudes, policemen, I think they were right in front of him, walked and had a girl on their face. They walked across the bridge as he went. And then when I come up here today, Chief Green busted out of the mayor's office. I didn't know that was him. I thought he was coming on the elevators. He coming up with me. Then he turned around and tried to get in the side door. I had a crippled man on the east side trying to get upstairs. He ain't come up here yet. Fell down one of them holes in Miss Fields' properties. And he only 51 years old. He got a long beard. I didn't know he was that old. And I think them policemen done checked Officer Green down there because they do some crazy stuff in Los Angeles. The dude done sued the police department over $100,000. The dude, it was a gypsy-looking guy. He was going in the garbage. And I said, what you doing to that man? Don't be doing the homeless poor man like that. Then his buddies, they were anyway, that's what's going on in Flint. Chief Green done got jumped on by the peoples in Los Angeles, him and the mayor, and they don't want to tell nobody, trying to write somebody to the bunny trot, and only people who can straighten it out is Tanya Burns, and stay tuned, she'll do the rest.
Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Grace Taylor.
Good evening. The last time I was here, I said that I would submit some information. Tanya Burns, Councilwoman Burns, you had asked me for additional information. I had mentioned that my team, we have the ability to protect our citizens from the shootings that are taking place randomly on our houses and even through the cars as well. I watched the Patterson video before I came here tonight, and I just can't even imagine. I've got a 13-year-old son who visits his father on the north side of Flint. I also have a 23-year-old who lives on the north side, and I really just cannot imagine them calling me and saying that bullets were flying through their home. And so I have been working on this. I have been working on all sorts of things because, as I mentioned to you guys, I have had the opportunity to test the majority of the systems that are here to support the citizens. And while they do their jobs, but we are in what I'm going to kind of call a crisis, they can't do all of what needs to be done. Typically, Habitat, for example, manages to redo about 8 houses a year. While that's great, but right now we kind of need something a little bit more accelerated. So I have dropped off a resolution and a summary to the clerk about a week ago. I had spoke to Councilwoman Lewis at Calvin McQueen's event this weekend. She mentioned that I should send it also to Councilwoman Mushat. So I've also sent it over to Councilman El Alamin. I promise no disrespect, you know that. And so I just would like all of you guys to get an opportunity to take a look at it because we really need to protect our citizens. And one of the things that we would be able to do with protecting the homes is that you won't be afraid to tell if you see something going on. You don't have to worry about a revenge shooting up your house as well. So we've got, your CFO said there's still millions of dollars that are projected at the end of the year to be about 44 million in surplus. So I'm asking if you guys could take a look at what I've submitted so we can try to work together. I'm just looking forward to trying to protect ourselves so we can work on the other things to reduce the crime and the mental stress in the community, but at least we can be protected in our homes, which should be a sanctuary, and we should not have to be burying our children just because they're at home. That's not right. Thank you. Oh, and on my Facebook page, you can actually, Grace Taylor, you can check out what I'm talking about. The pictures are there so you can see. It would make the community look beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Arthur Woodson.
Good evening. If I was on council, I would have called a special council meeting to have that discussion that you all had in special affairs with the community, so that after you all got done talking, the organizations, the people could come up and address the council instead of having to address you one at a time. I would have asked my colleagues to come in and let's all address the community at the same time. I sat down with a group of black business owners. They are starting their own group dealing with public safety, and in this black business group, they had a meeting with law enforcement, U of M, City of Flint, Sheriff Department, and one of the things that they came up with was, good evening, council. I am asking the council to consider developing an ordinance addressing people wearing ski masks, sometimes called poo-shiesty masks. I am not suggesting that wearing a ski mask makes someone a criminal, nor am I suggesting that regulating them will fully solve gun violence or crime in our city, but we cannot ignore the fact that the mask can be used to conceal a person's identity while committing a crime. We have seen surveillance photographs and videos where individuals suspected of shootings, robberies, and other crimes have their faces almost completely covered or concealed, making identification more difficult. Flint would not be the first city to address this issue. Philadelphia has already taken steps to address this. The city passed a law restricting ski masks in certain public places like schools, recreation centers. They have come up with a whole lot of other different things, but they are not one of the organizations that have came down before. So you would want to open the floor, because the deal is the people does not respect some of the organizations that's already here. And it's not grassroots, and it's not people that they deal with every day. It's not people that know them. It's not people who know what they are saying. Councilwoman Lewis, I understand you want to be proactive with your ordinances and everything, but it's a duplicate service, because GHS does all the things, are supposed to do all the things. When the kid get expelled out of school, they're supposed to be able to send them over to GHS at the NCE, which is the Neurobehavioral Center of Excellence. We have things in place already. It's just that a lot of things has to be enforced, and a lot of things has to be used. The communication has to be there, and you have to know about the things that we already have before doing new things, because you can't keep on throwing money at the problem. Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Quay Hughes.
Try to make this quick. I got 3 minutes. This is my first time doing this. You ready? Okay. I'm here on behalf of myself. I normally don't even come in large rooms like this, but I have to because I'm one of the people that have my boots on the ground. I worked at Club Sunoco. It was a very bad gas station. They was ready to put the locks and the chains on this gas station before they got me. The year that they got me, I worked from 11 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. My fours never seen my fives, and my fives never seen my fours. And that was one of the places where all the kids came. I am a true leader, but to be a leader, you have to lead. And I never knew why God wanted me at that gas station. I met so many kids. The rallies that we are doing are not gonna help these kids. These kids, I reached out to kids that are gangbangers. I'm bringing some of the things that they said to me. These little meetings, these meetings is not what is gonna get it. These kids are hurting because you have went over here and shot here. You have went over here and shot here. It is not going to stop unless we all work together as a team. All of y'all up there are leaders. I don't know who go to church and who don't, but I met you today. You told me you bouncing from church to church. Already you cannot be a leader if you are bouncing church to church. I do not know if you have a church, 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 I have a church. I attend Victoria's Word. The kids that had the ski mask that cannot come outside, I send them the links to my church. Nobody is sitting down, and parents play a part as well. Their part is major, but I want to say some things that the kids are saying. Some of the kids want therapy, they want love, they want men role models. My son is 15 and he has not decided to be a part of the gang. I work just like these parents work, but because I stay grounded in my church, my son is 15 and he does not want to be a part. I had 2 gangbangers sitting behind me, and these are my friends. These are my son's friends. They told me we have to carry our guns because we want to come outside and play, but because of what my brother did or what my brother did, I can't come outside and play. The money here in the system, to me, is being wasted. I need somebody to tell me who is really, I see a lot of the guys at the schools, but what are they really doing? Neely was in a position, something I just seen him do, because I wanted to know, Neely or Tanya, Neely or Tanya. I had to pray on it. God told me, Tanya. Why? Neely just gave Gretchen the key to the city. I forgot exactly what day. But his daughter just got shot. Now Neely wants to do something, but you should have been did something. Because do anybody know what today is? Today is Zaire's birthday. Today is the day that Neely covered up them kids dying. That baby's birthday is today, and it is so unfair. I want his seat. I wish I wanted your seat. I wish I wanted your seat. I don't want none of y'all seat. When y'all got up and said the pledge, I said I gotta read the room. I gotta read the room, and I read the room, y'all, and I'm not happy. Because if y'all really sit down and talk to these kids, they hurting. They tell me. I took them to a group because every time somebody died, he'd drop it in the comments. Bring this kid, y'all. I bring them kids. But them kids carry them pistols. They hurting. And I didn't want to understand. I'm taking care of 2 of my sister kids right now. I had about 6. I said, God, why did you give me so many? He saw what I could do for the work of the kingdom. Only y'all on that panel know if y'all go to church or not. But I do. My kids decided to be different. But they hurting. They are hurting. Nobody is paying attention. The rally's not going to get it. God is going to get it, but I'm going to need the mothers to equip themselves like I equip myself. My daughter is 18. She is going to Wayne State. You got the kids that can be different. You got the kids that, some kids can move out the city. Some kids can't. I asked my stepson, this person died. These kids connected so many dots for me today. It made no sense. It hurt me so bad because they hurting. And what do we have in the schools? Who is actually in the schools? I asked the kids, do y'all even have the conversations with me that y'all had with your mothers? They said, no, it's not just y'all. They always say it starts at home, and it does. It's my friends' kids. My friends that's worried about who behind is bigger than the next one, stomach flat. These mothers are are so distracted with work. So who was at home watching the kids? And I just said, when I worked at Club Sunoco, I worked from 11 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. So guess what? Who was watching my kids? I am a problem too. Y'all, I work 3 days a week now. I just was in the dark for 4 days. I could not pay my electricity bill. But I refuse to let my kids get in this system. Y'all, it is hard. These kids need help. I need to work more than 3 days, but I can't. Today, me and her almost got into an argument. That's why I'm here. I'm like the parents that's scared to come up, right? I said, why don't nobody recognize me? Why? Because I don't got the money that everybody want me to have. She wasn't even going to have a conversation with me. We almost got into it. And when I asked her, what is it you do? But keep in mind, she had my hands, she had my kids. She knew every last one of my kids. Let me tell you how she did me today.
Excuse me, I don't want to cut you off, but
she wanted my
just
vote.
give me 1 second.
She wanted my vote.
Right, but let me tell you, I don't want to cut you off, but there is a time limit. I understand your frustration, which is why I let you keep going. I do need to get to the next public speaker, but I will come talk to you myself if you stay here.
Can you talk to me today?
I will come talk to you today when this meeting is over. If you stay to the end of this meeting, I will come talk to you.
Isn't that important?
I will.
Is that important?
I will come talk to you. Thank you so much. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Pamela Hawkins.
Good evening. I'm here this evening actually to introduce myself. I'm Pamela Hawkins. I'm a consultant for the Clio Road Corridor Improvement Authority. This comes under Public Act 57 of 2018. And the Corridor Improvement Authority is designed to assist communities with funding improvements in commercial corridors. We want to do this on Clio Road, but there's a number of things we've been working on prior to me coming just to give you information. But we've done surveys, we've done presentations, we've done visionings with the residents and property owners and businesses. And we want to do a partnership with the City of Flint and Mount Morris Township. The boundaries for this is Clio Road between Pasadena Avenue and Carpenter Road. There are individual municipalities that are in Genesee County that have been very, very successful. You have Mundy Township, which is on Hill Road. You also have Mount Morris Township, which is on Pearson Road. Other municipalities that have partnerships in Michigan, which would be what we would do with the partnership we'd like to do with Mount Morris Township and the City of Flint. Other partnerships have been the City of Farmington and Farmington Hills. And in addition to that is also the City of Lansing and East Lansing. So I just wanted to just give this information. You will receive other information from me within the next couple of weeks, but I just wanted to introduce myself for those who don't know me.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is David Peachy.
I believe he left.
Final speaker for this meeting is Beverly Biggs Levy.
Final speaker for this meeting, I believe she left. Seeing as how that was the final speaker for this meeting, it is now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers. Only after all public speakers have spoken, an individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anybody who wishes to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one who wishes to speak during council response, I'll entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Madam Chair.
It's been moved by the councilman in the 8th Ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Are there any separations?
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Priestley.
260297.
260297. Are there any more separations?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Winfrey Carter.
260262.
You said 262? Give me 1 second, I have to find the page.
9.
Thank you so much. Are there any more separations? Seeing as how there are no more separations, the consent agenda will include 260269.1, 260293, 260294, 260295, 260296, 260298, 260306, and all of the ordinances for which there were a public hearing. Roll call, Madam Clerk. And of course, all of our meetings and minutes and communications. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
She's not in.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? The vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 7 yes, 0 no. The consent agenda, all of those are approved. All those items are approved. Moving on to 260262, approved sub-recipient agreement, soberhood opioid remediation services. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Priestley.
motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve. Is there support? Moved and properly supported. Is there discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I separated this. I see that the young lady is here for Sober House. And I wanted to bring her up, Madam Chair, Soberhood, I'm sorry. Soberhood, through you, Madam Chair, to,
If we could have you join us at the lectern.
Hello.
can you please state your name?
Jocelyn Millender.
Miller?
Millender.
Millender. Miss Millender, I just want you to state again what this money is going to be used for, not just because, you know, I want the residents to know.
Okay, so Soberhood has 3 initiatives. One of them is outreach. So we go out into several neighborhoods in Genesee County to actually pursue. We target women that have been victims of human trafficking, sexual exploitation, and domestic violence. So we offer them food, hygiene bags, and resource navigation. The other initiative is the Sober House. The Sober House is the empowerment center. There they'll be able to have access to showers, food, laundry services, a working station to be able to complete applications for DHS, or to be able to take a class, to be able to apply for a job. They also will be able to have NA, AA, and other life supports. We have a partnership with the Recovery Alliance Project that will service all of the women, that will help with our programming for those NA and AA supports, as well as a partnership with the GCPC. And then we also have the Mamas Meetup. The Mamas Meetup is similar to like a mom's group. It is a mom group, but it is to meet in non-threatening spaces, and it is to provide mothers who are navigating sobriety with additional supports and community. They'll be able to have access to a meal, but they'll also be able to receive resource navigation as well as education.
Now, how many residents are you going to be able to service with the funds that you're getting?
We provide we will provide out of the Sober House 24 to 48 hour emergency transitional care for one woman at a time at that current space. But overall, I have the ability to service 5 to 7 women in a given week and their children as they come through the sober house.
Okay, and these are women who are battling
Yes, ma'am.
with
Addiction, victims of trafficking, Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I yield my time, Madam Chair. I just wanted to get more clarity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to? Councilman Pfeiffer.
Yeah, as I've said previously on the record, that I don't think that we should be funding startup nonprofits, and this is to my understanding that that's what this is. So I will not be supporting that this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the first round? Thank you. It is my understanding, because you've shared with us, I'll go ahead and take my time. It is my understanding, because you've done a presentation, you've shared your work that you've done, the work that you've been acknowledged for, that you've been doing this work for quite some time. If you could please share that work again.
Just this past Saturday, I serviced probably over 250 children through a partnership with Prison Project in my local church, New Creation Church of God. We gave out over 207 book bags. We provided resources for the community through GHS, Consumers Energy, several agencies, ORN, just to be able to provide resources for the community. Like I said, every third Saturday of the month, I currently go out into the regencies, travel in, we provide outreach there as well. And I also serve in my local church. I've been doing this work, and I also take care of the transition care for Prison Project, which is the only agency in the state of Michigan that services minor girls that have been trafficked. This is the work I do every day.
All right, thank you. I think, what's going on with the time? Can I please have my 5 seconds back? 3:45. Thank you so much. And your work that you do has been highlighted in the past as well. Can you talk about some of that work?
Yes, I came into care management because of my work in the community, and through care management with Ascension, servicing Genesee and Shiawassee County, I began a pantry and outreach there doing a pantry. I also did book bag drives, Thanksgiving baskets, and resource navigation there. So Ascension took the blueprint of my work and they expanded it through Shiawassee County, even in the clinics that I wasn't able to oversee. And so those clients were able to receive gas cards.
Can you please pause the time? Right, but I can't see it, so I don't know when I should cut her off to ask her more questions because I can't see it.
And on this side, it keeps flashing, so that's why I want to be mindful of the time.
Go ahead. What I'm saying is, like, I don't know when to cut you off because I can't see on my end. Go ahead.
And on my side, it keeps shutting off. So, but yes, I have the work that I've done has been duplicated.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Just the work that I've done, it's been duplicated.
Just let me know when I have a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's been duplicated in several clinics because the physicians that I work with became champions of the care that I was providing because they saw that their patients, their overall outcomes were improving.
Thank you. And I think that is admirable, the work that you're doing, and the fact that, like you said, some of the people that you've worked for or have been so impressed that they have continued that work even as you have moved on. I do know that just from the work that you've shared with us, from the presentation that you've done, that you have a heart and a passion for this community. And even with Councilwoman Winfrey Carter and the questions that she asked and the women in this community that will be served, I think one of the things that was pointed out earlier when we were talking about community and violence that Councilwoman Burns said, sometimes the focus is so much on men and getting men the help that they need. And don't get me wrong, because that is deeply, deeply important.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think sometimes we forget that women also struggle with substance abuse, that they also struggle with domestic violence on the end of them possibly being abusers. And so I think that the work that you do is important, because there's a whole section of our community that sometimes gets lost in the fact that therapy is needed for that section of our community as well. Opioid services and help is needed for that section of our community as well. And so I do want to commend you on the work that you are doing. I am in support of you and your project and the people in our community that it will reach, that sometimes people forget that women are more than just mothers, that they're more than, daughters, sisters, friends, and that there's a large part of our community where you have women who, for whatever the reason, whatever they may have encountered in life, they do not have it all together like women are often portrayed as having or expected to. And so I do thank you for the work that you are doing with women in the community. With that, I'll yield in round one. Is there anyone in round two who would like to speak? Councilwoman Burns.
Thank you. What's your first name again?
Jocelyn.
What's your last name, Jocelyn?
Millender.
Okay. I have a friend who works with an agency, and their funding has been cut. And one of the issues, literally, she was on call and getting the calls, the mental health issues, the drugs, the trafficking. With the group Color Law Coalition, where all ladies and one gentleman, to where you had Tanya Jones, you have Beverly Biggs Levy, you had Debbie, Diane, you had Taylor, that we first learned that the women who were sex trafficked, I learned when Chief Green was taking my calls, that when they don't have shoes on, that they're usually trafficked.
Yes, ma'am.
Sex trafficked. I didn't know. This was Thanksgiving night and it was cold. Tanya Jones took her boots off and gave them to a lady that was in the house that burned down on Detroit Street, the Victorian home where the 3 stories had burned down. We didn't know where these people were living, and these women who are battling drugs, and how their bodies are just used. It's something that's needed, and I get, it's a new program, but you've got some experience. And we have such an overwhelming need that I don't think people really see it, because these people don't want to be seen. They don't want to be seen. They live in buildings that we drive by every day, and there are women, and there are even some children. Usually we can get the children out if a woman has a child or children, but it's the embarrassment of just, I need help. And that's where we have to start taking that cloak of embarrassment off to help the people. Does your group go out and do like the work to where they are?
Yes. I was going to say that I understand that my program is new, but whether I had my organization or not, I would still do this work, because a big part of what I do is servicing minor girls that have been trafficked.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, there is so much misinformation about what victims of human trafficking look like, that when you see girls or when you encounter women that have actually been trafficked, a lot of times we miss the cues. We don't know what that actually looks like. And so it is needed for education, because in the African American community, more often than not, it is familial trafficking. It's your uncle, it's your grandmother, it's your cousin that's pimping you out, offering your body for sex, and for drugs.
You're telling the truth because I know. You're telling the truth. And it's one of the things to where even with and she's one of my best friends, that the work is fulfilling, but it's overwhelming.
Yes, ma'am.
It's overwhelming. Doesn't pay very well.
No, not at all.
Not here, but up there.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I don't think this community, because we don't like to speak of things that aren't pretty and, things that aren't, happy and, perfect. It's not, and it's hard, but we have a lot of women who are, and girls. And it is familiar. If the parent has a drug addiction, they will pimp out their children.
Yes.
And it'll be a boy or a girl.
Yes.
To whatever the fetish is for the pedophile
Yes.
who wants them.
Yes.
And so we have got some issues, and even in these motels that we talk about, that travel lodge, it needs to be shut down. The drugs in there, the women. And so when we talk, and not just that, because we've got them with the men too, who are, some of them. I mean, this one woman she was so drunk, she didn't know where she was at. She didn't know what state she was in. And they kept her high, drugged her. Yes. And then some of these women, they're raped over and over again.
Yes.
Had a 17-year-old girl who was raped, this was 2 weeks ago, 3 times. We could not get a police officer to Hurley Hospital. What? Could not get one because we didn't have one that was available. And it gets to the point, then guess what? It happened the next day. Didn't have a police officer. A mother and a daughter was raped at Hurley. Couldn't get an officer. And so we have these problems. And I get being a startup group and taking a chance, but I think your group is worth taking a chance on.
Thank you.
I do. So thank you for what you do, because it's heart-wrenching work. Because we, through somebody's family, we know people who this has touched them in their lives. Thank you.
Anyone else in the second round of discussion? Is there anyone else in the second round of discussion? Seeing as how there's no one else in the second round of discussion, this is the roll call vote for Resolution 260262, which is to approve the subrecipient agreement, Soberhood Opioid Remediation Services. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? No. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
And the vote is 8 yes, 1 no.
The vote is 8 yes, 0 no. 8 yes, 1 no. The Resolution 260262, approved subrecipient agreement, Soberhood Opioid Remediation Services, has been approved. Moving on to Resolution 260297, contract Trio Paint General Contractor Services. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Priestley.
motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve. Is there support? It's been moved and properly supported. Is there discussion in the first round?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Priestley.
Yes, so I was going to separate this during finance, but for the discussion. I have been, as we all know, Trio Paint did council chambers. And those of you in the, out in the seats and those on YouTube don't know that our desk is falling apart. Our floor is being raised. Our desk in our executive session committee room is falling apart. I had complaints from Fire Station 5 of the work that was done there when I went to look at it when it was completed, and that was their kitchen. So I'm not in favor of giving them an extension on their contract until at least they get this work done. Our desk is being held together with packing tape. So I'm going to vote no on this.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilman in the 8th Ward.
I'm just going to reiterate, I second everything that Councilwoman Priestley just said. During the first couple of years of our tenure, or this tenure of this current cycle, I worked hard to make sure that this chambers got renovated. And those of you who were here before it got renovated know how dilapidated and old it was. And I don't want the next generation of council leaders or council people to deal with dilapidated council chambers. And it's really, and I don't know if TRIO has been notified. I don't know anything other than this is not going to get my vote today until, whether it's Lee or whether it's council or the administration, somebody needs to make sure that the contractors are held liable, whether it be for this council chambers or any other work that contractors do throughout the city. Whether it be a leaky roof that we paid for and now it's leaky, or anything else. But until we start holding our contractors liable for the work that they do and the substandard work, because this floor back here, literally, it's like it's waterlogged. This desk right here, if I catch my suit on it, I'm going to be extremely pissed. It's falling apart. So, no, this will not get my vote. Any other TRIO paint will not get my vote because, or any other contractor that has a complaint that we're notified about. Because this is disgraceful that we went for 40 years with a dilapidated council and then we get it updated, and then within a couple of years, what is it, 2 years? We are absolutely falling apart again. That is unacceptable, and it will not get my vote. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion? Anyone in the second round of discussion? Seeing as though there's no one else, this is the roll call vote for 260297, Contract TRIO Paint General Contractor Services. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Priestley?
No.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns?
No.
Ms. Mashat?
No.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
No.
Mr. Jarrett?
No.
Mr. Alamin? No. Dr. Lewis?
No.
Ms. Johnson?
No.
The vote is 0 yes, 9 no.
The vote is 0 yes, 9 no. Resolution 260297, Contract TRIO Paint General Contractor Services fails.
Motion to adjourn.
There is a motion to adjourn. Is there supported by the councilman in the first ward? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. It is 7:26, Monday, August 24th. This Flint City Council meeting is adjourned.